Hello, everyone, and welcome to Webinar Wednesday. You can see John's trying to photobomb us again. And John is going to be a perfect object lesson. So because we have limited bandwidth, we ask everyone who's not a presenter to put their camera off. Thanks, John. And to stay muted. I know, I love you too. And stay muted throughout the presentation. This is why we love our agents. They get to get on and get picked on. They're my favorite. We have the wonderful Denise Jones from the Dairy Alliance with us today, who I love very, very much. So everybody be nice to her. And she is going to be highlighting some of the youth programs that we've been doing to support June Dairy Month across the state. So she's going to talk a little bit about that, way to get some of our youth involved. So if you have students or children in 4-H or FFA, definitely encourage them to participate this year. If you have students in your county, absolutely encourage them to participate. And she's also going to be talking about some new resources that they've added focused on value-added dairy producers. And she is pulling double duty. So congratulations, everyone. You have a short webinar Wednesday today. We probably won't go over 30 minutes. And don't forget to go do the follow-up completion report if you need Master Dairy credit. I'm going to post that link in the chat. And for those of you listening online, make sure that you go to the word tiny, tiny.utk.edu/WW2022. And that will take you to the post-completion survey for Webinar Wednesday. So you get Master Dairy credit. Don't worry, I'll send it out in the follow-up email as well. But that way you've heard it at least a few times and you all know what to do to get Master Dairy credit for today. So without further ado, I will pass it over to you, Denise.
Thank you so much, Liz. It's an honor to get to be with you all this afternoon. And thank you for being so accommodating, letting us do this from the farm. We're actually hosting a virtual live farm tour today at Flowers Creamery that will start at 12 o'clock Central Time. So really appreciate the opportunity to get to talk to you a little bit more about what our Dairy Farmers June Dairy Month programs are doing on behalf of promoting dairy throughout the month, as well as including our dairy chairpersons that are going to be nominated here within the next month and a half to make that program happen. Liz is going to share a screen here for you with a presentation where we're going to highlight each of those opportunities. So a little bit about who we are. I've met probably, I think, most of you on the call, but just to give you a little insight on who the Dairy Alliance is and the American Dairy Association of Tennessee, we have 3 staff members. Well, first we'll go over our agenda today. We're going to talk about the programs. We're going to also talk about the June Dairy Month Chairperson contest and then our poster contest. Then we'll wrap everything up with some business development opportunities where we're having some webinars to help our on-farm processors kind of navigate the challenges with getting their product out there and some specialty topics that might be of interest and maybe interest to those that may be interested in getting into value-added processing as well as a resource. So a little bit about who we are. We have 3 staff people that work here in Tennessee on behalf of our farmers. We have Joan Benton. She's been with the American Dairy Association of Tennessee for 12 years now, I believe. Joan works in school health and wellness, managing our Titans relationship with Fuel to Play 60. And she newly has been appointed to our business development department, which is focusing on connecting our restaurants and other businesses such as grocery stores, processors, with ways that we can cross-promote dairy in the state of Tennessee and how we can get more information out there on promotions for milk promotion especially. Cindy Cooper has been working with us for 3 years now. She is a school health and wellness manager who spans across the entire state of Tennessee and has such a passion for promoting your dairy products. She's put so much hard work into getting our programs into schools. Most recently, just a really cool success story with her. She has helped to place 20 8 milk dispensers in Central Tennessee with a grant from the Tennessee Dairy Promotion Committee. And she's worked really tirelessly with those school nutrition directors to measure how effective this program has been. And we're really excited with what the results will be. But just want to give you a little insight on what Cindy's passionate about. And then I've worked with the ADA of Tennessee for going on 10 years this year. But we have a 17-member board of directors who meet twice a year and give us feedback on what they would like to see. They review the financials and what's going on with the programs. We also, number one goal is increasing trust with our consumers and promoting those products, and then educational outreach as well as research and promotion. The American Dairy Association is a member of the Dairy Alliance, which represents 8 states in the Southeast and their promotion programs. Next slide, please. So our June Dairy Month promotions, we have partnered with Tennessee 4-H at least, and I don't want to quote a year, but at least for the last 15 to 20 years. This promotion would not be as successful as it is without the help of your local county 4-H agents. They are the ones who are the boots on the ground, recruiting these chairpersons to be a part of the programs and really help to give them the insight and ability to be as successful as they are with the competition. So we have 2 main contests. The first is the poster contest. This is where agents go to their local schools and have their teachers host a contest where the kids will create a June Dairy Month poster with our theme. This year, the theme is center of the dairy universe, kind of giving them an opportunity to get creative with that. Those posters are due by the end of April, postmarked. If there's one that's a little bit late, we're still going to accept those, but they need to be mailed to me, and then those will be the winning posters for each county, and then we will judge those with the Kentucky Farm Bureau. There will be a non-biased group that can pick the winners. There's a winner for first, second, and third prize, and those are monetary winners as well. The next is your Dairy Chairperson contest, where we get counties to nominate a 4-H youth to host the promotions for the whole county. Those applications are due at the end of April as well. We will have our June Dairy Month kickoff, which is going to be on May 26th this year at Battle Mountain Farm. And then our scrapbook contest is kind of the bookend for the Dairy Chairperson contest. Those are due at the end of July. So if we'll go on to the next slide, I'll show you some more information on how the poster contest works. If you go to the UT Dairy Extension website, you can find all of the information here to register, and you can even submit posters virtually if you would like, but those will all be judged together. So last year, just to give you an idea, some of the top counties that submitted posters, we do ask the agents to record how many posters that were entered in their county competition. We had Lincoln County getting 577 posters involved, Bedford at 163, and Jackson was the 3rd highest with 46 entries. So for the total last year, there was over 1,000 posters created for June Dairy Month across the state. There are some rules for this contest. Posters need to be 14 by 22 inches. We need to have all the information on the back of that poster to make sure we know where the child lives, address, contact information, and then those will need to be submitted by April 22nd. And if you have questions, you can reach out to Liz or myself to get those entered, but it's very easy to enter to win. And then the cash prizes, the winner receives $250 and then on down for second and third. I've got some examples of the winners from last year. First place was Katie Collins from Dixon County. The theme last year was Dairy Potter. So we had some very creative youth in how they presented their version of Dairy Potter. Second place was Lauren Hawk in Monroe County. And third place were their cute Dairy Potter milk carton. We had Andrew Spain with Robertson County who won that prize. Moving on to the scrapbook contest. So in order to be a dairy chairperson, this is going to be a 4-H youth anywhere from the ages of 10 up to 18. They're all judged together, but we are asking that youth based on how many we break them down by divisions to go out in their counties and promote dairy in the newspaper, trade media, on the radio, if they have access to a couple TV outlets as well. And we provide resources for them to use on our June Dairy Month website that has facts and information about Tennessee's dairy industry, and then different ways they could use PSAs. They can have proclamations signed by their mayors of their county seat. It's really cool that they can just be so creative on how they help get the information out. So we'll have some kids go to nursing homes and have an ice cream social. Some might go to a preschool group and talk about where their milk comes from. And then we provide the youth with materials that they can hand out to these different groups at their events as well. Everyone that participates as a chairperson for their county will get a 4-H polo. And then we have the winning amounts. If you win your division award, that's going to be a $500 award to the youth, and then $200 will go to each of those counties. The best use of theme award is $250, and then the media award is $250. Those scrapbooks, they get really, really, really interesting on how they can get so involved with that theme. I've got a couple of pictures here that show the winners from last year. On the next slide. Well, here's our names first. We have Humphreys County for Division 1. Eli Postovich won that division. Division 2, Macomb County, Delaney Turner. Division 3 is Sumner County's winner, Abigail Barnett. The best use of theme, we had Eli Postovich again with Humphreys County. And the best use of media award was Abigail Barnett in Sumner County. So here's some more information on how you can register to be part of these programs. We have the link at UT's youth website under other opportunities. And Liz has shared this in the chat box on the side. And on the next slide, I believe I have some photos of the books. I may not though. I don't, so that's okay. So with these scrapbooks, what we're asking them to do is to basically make a record of everything that they've done throughout the month. Some of these scrapbooks can be just 10, 15 pages. Others, they can be 6, 7 inches thick. That's however detailed the youth want to get. If they would like to do a virtual scrapbook with PowerPoint or a Google Slides, they can do that as well. Just making sure that they're showing how they portrayed it through social media, kind of talking about the results and maybe some of the outreach that they had received with their posts and how many times they were shared, liked, and interacted with. They're taking photos of the different events. They are sometimes taking an audio recording and putting that in the book using QR codes so we can go back and watch YouTube videos, maybe where they toured a dairy farm. But it really is interesting to see how they get creative and showcase the ways that they were promoting dairy throughout the month of June. Before June starts, we have our June Dairy Month kickoff where we invite all of the past winners from the year before of the chairperson contest, as well as the current chairpersons, to be recognized for their hard work and to help give them some tips and tools and a look into how they can get involved with the promotions. It's a really good time. On average, we usually have about 200 people that attend that. So we're happy to be able to have an in-person event this year again to celebrate. And it's a good meal. All our dairy farmers, industry people, extension professionals, we invite you to attend. Everybody's invited. If you would like to get that invitation and you haven't gotten in the past, just email Dr. Eckelkamp or myself. We'll be sure to add you to the invitation list. This is also in part two. We have Tennessee Farm Bureau, who's the sponsor of the meal, and then Tennessee 4-H. They're the ones that are boots on the ground, really making this program happen. And we cannot thank those agents enough for getting their youth involved.
Hey, Denise,
next slide. Yes.
Do you want me to show the June Dairy Month one from Knox County? That was the virtual entry that we had, so I can share that real fast.
Yes, absolutely. So this should just be a quick look at Knox County. She did a great job of showcasing. She actually was able to get on a lunch television program, and we'll have some photos that showcase the hard work that she put into promoting June Dairy Month, as well as getting a proclamation signed, I think. So here's her version of Dairy Potter. And she created this with a Google Docs PowerPoint slide. It just talks about a summary of her work and scope, what she really focused on and what she accomplished, and then her table of contents, an introduction of herself. Winter Wright was the chairperson for Knox County last year. She hosted a proclamation with some local leaders. There should be a photo down underneath there, I believe. There's some social media promotions that she received through those proclamations.
I need an in-between size between super zoom and modified zoom.
Super zoom's fine. We can see a lot better that way.
So I'm sure Denise is going to highlight this, but one of the big things that Dairy Alliance does, aside from setting all this up, is they provide all of our June Dairy Month spokespersons with lots of goodies. So they send them cow pencils, wristbands, stickers, work groups or workbooks. So everyone can have access to these cool supplies, showing how important dairy is, and really promoting that during June Dairy Month.
And if they do need additional supplies, that's something they can order through us very easily. You can see where she went to the Farragut Farm Bureau, hosted a dairy event or dairy day there. North Shore Farm Bureau.
Quite a few radio spots.
Yes. So one thing with radio that's really good, a lot of radio stations will provide you a run list. She recorded a PSA with her local station, Duke FM, and they ran that throughout the month, and it lets you know what kind of impact and when it was ran throughout the 30 days. And the same thing with television. If they end up doing a PSA on TV, they can get the information back from them. So we can see the scope of reach.
I wish I could play the radio commercial.
I know.
That button works.
We provide them with a 15, 30, and 1 minute PSA script that they can record on their own to have that highlighted through radio or television as well. And they can also use some of that on social media to share different in different media or different social media channels.
As y'all can see, these June Dairy Month chairpersons are extremely active. They do a lot to promote us during the month of June. If you don't have one in your county or you hadn't heard about it yet, that's our bad. Hopefully this helps you hear about it and become involved this next June.
So as she goes through the book, she's going to also outline her social media campaigns. And then we have a rubric that they all receive to see where they need to focus to get most of the most amount of points when they're judged against the other scrapbooks as well. So that way they know where to focus. A lot of it is keeping on the theme, and then how effective they are in getting that reach out to the most people and eyeballs as possible. Last year we had 18 scrapbooks submitted. I would love to have a dairy chairperson from all of the counties in Tennessee. Eventually, that was a very big goal that Justin Crow had before he moved on to be the director for Tennessee 4-H, but I believe we can still get that done. If you don't know if there's a 4-H chairperson for June Dairy Month in your county, I highly encourage you to reach out to your extension office and just make sure they're aware of this and that it's pretty easy to do. Everything's laid out for them. There's resources available so they don't have to recreate anything. And I am more than happy to talk to anyone over the phone, kind of recap the program and how simple it is to help get them out there in a leadership position, giving back to their communities, providing factual information about dairy farming, and then coming back with creating this scrapbook is a very good practice too, so they get used to recording and keeping information on their programs that they post.
Something else that selfishly I really enjoy is if you do have a June Dairy Month chairperson, to tag UT Dairy in the posts, or just let us know when you create a page so I can follow you and help promote all of that stuff from our main account as well. I find that the June Dairy Month chairpersons are a lot more creative than I am, so I like seeing their posts because they're much more engaging than mine.
We even have some youth that have gone out to some dairy farms and interviewed some local farmers, and they put that up on YouTube, and then they share that as well on Facebook. So it gets our farmers involved and gets to see that there's other people that are as passionate about the foods that they produce and really love what they provide us with every day.
I have to stop looking at these pictures because she's starting to make me hungry.
And we will have the winners from last year, their scrapbooks on display at the kickoff. So that way, any new chairpersons that would like to see what they need to do to create a winning scrapbook have that. And Liz and I will be hosting a webinar with the 4-H agents and the dairy chairpersons after the last week of April, once those are chosen, to help give them a way to interact, talk about what was successful. Hopefully we can get Eli or one of the other winners from the divisions to come on with us and walk through how he came up with his plan and his promotions throughout the month, and give them some ideas and a way to say, hey, this really is something very attainable to do and the sky's the limit. So that will be another resource that we started last year that our agents can participate in to help get some ideas flowing and not make it so daunting that you're starting from zero. I'm going to move and shift gears just a little bit into our business development department. We have a new partnership with Andy Harvell. He used to work for Whole Foods, and after leaving Whole Foods, saw the challenges that some of the independent on-farm processors and wholesalers that make any kind of product that goes into a grocery store, kind of the challenges that they had getting into Whole Foods or in retail in general. He brings to us a depth of knowledge that could really be beneficial to our on-farm processors or even anyone wanting to get into on-farm processing. And we've created a webinar series that is free for all of our farmers or anyone to participate in. And these series will be going through May of this year. You can go back and watch any of those at any time if you go to harvellvendorservices.com and events. Just register, and then you will be automatically added to the email update for each of those webinars. The next one that we'll be focusing on is working directly with retailers on April 6th. So please go ahead and mark that on your calendars, or you can either text me your email. My number is 270-970-4792, or at the end, I believe I have my email address listed. You can just shoot me an email on there and we can add you to that email list. And the last one talks about food shows. This is something I think a lot of people they're not familiar enough with, but is a wonderful area where you can directly meet face-to-face with some vendors that already have that local need and want to include new and different foods on to their customers. So this is just something that is free and available for y'all to participate in. It's new to us. And if there's anything that you would like additional support with, or any ideas that you say, hey, I haven't thought about this, but could you hook us up with more information on it? We are more than happy to do that and able to. This is a new department for us where there's lots of possibility working with processors, retailers, restaurants. We really want to do the best we can to make sure that you have the resources and information available to you to be successful. So at this time, I will open up the floor for any questions. I'll turn my video back on.
Thanks, Denise. We did have one question earlier on in the chat. Can you share the watch link with us for what you're going to be doing at Flowers later today?
Sure, absolutely. I will, before we get off, I will put it in the chat. How does that sound?
Perfect. And
what might be easiest, if you go to the Dairy Alliance on YouTube, just type in the Dairy Alliance, and it'll take you to our page and we'll have a way to watch there, or on Facebook. just go to our Facebook page, the Dairy Alliance, and you can watch on Facebook Live. That probably would be the easiest way to do it.
Go fund. I know I have that. So we'll just pull up Facebook really quick. See, it's okay to use Facebook at work now. The next question was, would the flower tour be recorded?
Yes, this is going to be recorded and it will live on Facebook and it will live on YouTube as well. You can go back and watch that, send that to your friends, family, teachers, anyone that would be interested in watching. Please help spread the word and share on your own social media channels as well.
I am throwing the Dairy Alliance Facebook in there. They also have an Instagram that has lots of delicious recipes. If you don't already follow them, you most definitely should. And they've also been doing a Takeover Tuesday, which I really enjoyed reading about different farmers in different areas of the Southeast.
And those are going to be running through the end of March for Women's Month. Next month or next week, we're going to focus on Tanya Cherry. She's from Kentucky. And hopefully the last week we will have a Tennessee dairy farmer to highlight. So that's, any other questions? All right, well, Liz, I know this is kind of outside the normal realm of what you all talk about with production and dairy farming. So I really appreciate the opportunity to get to talk to you all a little bit about a program that's focused solely on promoting more dairy through our Tennessee 4-H youth and extension. And thank you all for making it possible.
Thank you, Denise. We appreciate your time this morning, and we look forward to seeing the tour at the Flowers Creamery. I've only had 1 cup of coffee today, y'all. Like, it's amazing I'm upright. So thank you, Denise. We appreciate you.
Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And if there's anything that you need or have any ideas, thoughts, just feel free to reach out and let us know. We're happy to help and just want to get more people drinking more milk.
Thanks, Denise.
Thank you. Y'all take care. Bye.